This young mum is trying to sell her car, but when an entitled parent is involved, nothing is ever straightforward. What crazy demands does this entitled parent make? When a young woman is doing her best to give good customer service, this customer interprets her actions in a completely different way, but her accusations actually cause things to take an unexpected turn. This assistant is doing their best to assist a customer over the phone, but the customer makes some ridiculous requests, and when they aren't fulfilled, she is not happy. Want to know what happens? You'll only find out by watching this episode of VoiceyHere's Entitled Parents, featuring our Tales from Retail. This story was called Entitled Parent Believes She Can Have a Car for Free, and then tries to take it from a single mother. In the cast: Entitled Mother, Entitled Mother's teen son, Sister, Violet, not her real name, Sister's son, my nephew, Yellow, not his real name, and me. This happened to my sister quite recently. Like my brother in my other EP story, and all of my siblings including me, my sister is adopted. So our ages don't match up. She's 22 and I'm 13. My sister, who we'll call Violet, is a successful person for her age. She's in a really good college with almost perfect grades and already bought, or is renting, a house. She has a car, a job, etc. Violet also had a son when she was late 18. We'll call him Yellow. He's 4. Although Violet has her life stable, she still does need some extra cash on the side for her son. Being a single mum and all, Violet acquired an extra car, a Ford truck I think, from a friend who didn't want it. I don't really know about that. Violet decided that she needed some extra cash to buy Yellow presents for his birthday. He really wanted one of those kid electronic cars that you drive around and charge, and some other presents. Violet decided she didn't need the car, and didn't like the hassle of keeping it in the garage. She put an ad on Craigslist and put it for $2,000 or so, the price being negotiable. She got a really promising message from some guy, but the guy didn't show, so Violet waited for a different offer. She got one from the entitled mother. Violet offered for the car to be bought at a public place, just so she doesn't appear shady. The EM insisted that it would be at Violet's house. On the day, the EM was late. Violet thought she wasn't going to show. EM drove to Violet's house with her teenage son. The exchange went something like this. I was on the front porch playing on my phone. The conversation won't be 100% since I don't remember things pretty easily. Hi, are you EM from my car post on Craigslist?
Hi, yes, it's for my son.
Great, everything's working. It's just a little scratched on the sides. Would you like to look at it and drive it so you can see everything's working alright?
TS will drive it since he needs a car.
Okay, let me open the garage. Violet opens the garage and hands TS the keys. I continue to watch them while playing Ark Survival.
This will be perfect for my son. He's on the honor roll and he is in all honors classes.
That's cool. TS, here's how you turn the key. TS drives around the cul-de-sac and then a little down the connecting road.
It's good. Okay, we'll take it.
Okay, will you pay with cash or check?
Pay?
Yes, the price is negotiable if you're feeling unsure. I can lower it to $500.
I'll have it for free, if that's okay. You don't seem like you need it, plus my son really needs the car more than you. He's planning on going to this place, and it's a really far university.
Sorry, but I can't give it away for free. I'll hold the car for you until you can pay. If you want, I'll sell it for $1,500. EM grumbles something and talks with her son. At this point, I exit my server and go into the kitchen to grab a popsicle. I was expecting them to leave and come back with money some other time. I end up seeing Yellow wake up from his nap, so I bring him to the porch so we can both eat popsicles. I watch EM try to grab the keys from Violet. Hey, Violet responded, stuffing the keys in her jacket. Please leave. I'll sell you the car another time.
TS needs the car. Just give it to him.
Mom, I have to study. Let's go home.
Not now, sweetie. I searched Craigslist to find a good car, and I'm not letting us leave without one.
Me, can you close the garage and put these keys away?
Sure. What do you think you're doing? I need that car.
Leave before I call the cops. I'll tell them TS is driving without a license. By now, I've closed the garage and put the keys away. EM left, and so did her son. My sister ended up selling the car to a nicer person who paid full price. We've had a lot of stories recently that have been about Craigslist or other marketplace encounters, so if your plan is to avoid entitled parents, it sounds like you should just never sell anything secondhand through these websites. If somebody is trying to sell something on Craigslist, what makes you think that they would want to give it away for free? Especially if you're being a pushy and demanding person. It's not even like you were super nice to them and then emotionally manipulated them by telling some sort of sob story. Your argument is flat out, my son deserves this and I don't think you need it, so give it to me for free. This story was called Customer Gets Mad at Me for Accusing Her of Stealing While She's Stealing. One of my first jobs was for a popular US chain store that sells furniture, candles, etc. Lots of home goods. I lived in a small kind of crappy town, and next door was a discount store that sells designer brands for discounts. It's not uncommon for people to purchase things next door, like blankets and such, and then try to match them to our other decor. We're very used to it, and our policy, since the store does not allow carts, was to ask people if they wanted us to hold their larger items behind the cash counter in the center of the store while they shop. If they say no, that's fine, but we still have to ask. This woman came in with a cart from next door with a huge bagged bedsheet, comforter, pillowcases, etc. She goes immediately to the pillow wall. I think very little of it, except to be very nervous as she goes through glassware, but it's a Sunday morning and I'm the only one on duty, besides my manager in the back. There's another couple looking at candles, but they've already been in a few minutes, and I ask them if they need help. I walk over to the woman with the cart and smile, looking at her comforter set. Hi, is there anything I can help you find? No, this is what I want. Alright, do you want me to hold that comforter set at the checkout? Shopping carts aren't usually allowed in here because of all the glass and delicate items on display. No, I won't break things. Okay, my manager's policy is to not make a fuss, so long as they don't break anything. I'm not going to force her to remove the cart. I'm behind the cash counter, and it's centrally located, so everyone can see me if they need help. I go about straightening things up, and going over the shipment for tomorrow, so I know where I need to make room. Every so often, I look up and track where the customers are in case they need me. The couple doesn't seem to, but a few times I catch the woman staring at me and ask if she needs help. It's always no. After the fourth time this happens, she wheels her cart over to the check stand and asks to speak to my manager. Confused, I agree and call her in the office and ask her to come up to the check stand. She comes out, and at this point, the woman lets loose.
Your woman is very rude to me.
I'm sorry to hear that. What happened?
She asked me to give her my bed and has been staring at me for the last 20 minutes like I'm a criminal. I'm not a thief.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It is our policy to ask if big items can be kept behind the counter for convenience, but also for safety reasons.
I want her to be fired.
Mind you, I'm standing right there the entire time, just shocked. I'm sorry, I can't fire her for following policy.
But she's treating me like a criminal. I do not steal.
The manager turned to me. What have you been doing? I show her the shipping manifest and the notes I've been writing for 20 minutes about the prep for when more employees show up and I have time. I've been here doing this, but I've also looked up every so often to see if anyone needs me. I see. Ma'am, I'm sorry if there's been some misunderstanding, but it sounds like she's doing her job. I won't fire her for that.
I'm leaving. If she's not fired, I won't buy here.
My manager just kind of looks at her like she's a bit off and apologizes again, but makes it clear that she's not going to change her mind about me. The woman starts wheeling her cart towards the exit, which would have been fine if I hadn't seen one of our tags dangling from the side of the cart. I know she didn't purchase anything. I nudge my manager and point to her before she gets to the door. Ma'am, wait a moment. The customer stops and turns around, a smug smile on her face. She probably thought my manager was going to give in with her complaint. My manager walks over and reaches into the cart, pulling out the tagged item and finding a few more pillows hidden under the other things. Can I see the receipt for these?
I bought them a few days ago. I don't have a receipt.
When exactly? If you paid with a credit card, I can pull up the transaction.
I bought them last Friday with cash.
You're sure it was last Friday?
Of course.
My manager nodded. I see. Ma'am, these pillows only arrived with our shipment on Monday. I'm going to have to ask you to stay until I check the security cameras. Her looking around and realizing there are cameras everywhere that are kind of easy to miss in the industrial type lighting we have. This is a bad business. A very bad business. I'm telling everybody. This will only take a moment. My manager takes the potentially stolen merch and leaves it in the stash stand away from the customer. The other couple comes up and wants to purchase the mirror they picked out and some candles, so I ring them up. The other customer just bolts out the front door with her paid for merch. After the other customers are gone and the store is empty, my manager comes back up. Yeah, that stuff was being stolen. The security footage confirmed it. We have a clear angle of her stuffing those pillows into her cart while you weren't looking. I don't know if she thought accusing us of treating her like a thief was guilt, or she thought it would distract us. It almost did. That's the thing of somebody who's actually guilty. If they see an employee looking up and staring at them every now and then, they're going to assume it's because they're suspecting them of stealing, because that's what they're doing. So if somebody's going to make the claim, she's staring at me because she thinks I'm stealing, that would actually give a good reason to suspect that they actually were stealing. Doesn't every customer know that that's the job of somebody who works in retail? They're going to be constantly checking to see who needs help. This story was called "In which a customer did not check himself before he wrecked himself." I work at a physical pickup and drop-off location for the majorest online retailer. Essentially, you can have your stuff shipped to us and collect it within 15 days, and we take returns back for free. We also do some really basic customer service, but we don't have anywhere close to the level of authority that the online or phone reps have. For most of my location's new users, of which there are many, it's a relatively new service offered by the retailer. My co-workers and I are the first physical human beings representing the company that they've ever encountered. So all their pent-up frustrations, thoughts, suggestions, and complaints about the website get spewed at us. Sometimes literally as soon as they walk in the door. We get a lot of hate pushed our way. A prime example happening during my shift today. My coworker asked me to come up front to help a customer, and I could tell by his 1,000-yard stare that the experience was going to be less than peachy. Said customer was a middle-aged man wielding 2 large lamps and brandishing return labels in my face. Furiously, he told me that my coworker had refused to take the returns, that he'd been explicitly instructed, twice he emphasized, by our customer service line to take these returns to our store after they'd created the labels, and that he didn't care what we had to do, or if it risked our jobs, we had to take them. I knew it was fishy. The return labels were for a shipping company that my employer ships 0 returns through. Our customer reps can't even create labels for that company. I told him this, and told him that he could return the packages for free at the shipping company's store less than a block away. So now, according to him, I'm not only intentionally ruining his day, but I'm also a liar. So I hop on his account, trying to get some clarity. He didn't take this well. Huge adult hissy fit. Picture your worst high school English teacher lecturing you on personal responsibility at double normal speaking speed while simultaneously having a stroke. He wasn't making any sense, but I do remember him repeating, "I live by authority," and recommending that I learn how to follow orders, and that I'm complicit with my employer's trashy, dishonest policies. I'm trying to tune out the verbal tsunami while I look for the order on his account. No dice, or rather, no lamps. I ask him, twice, because he couldn't hear me over his own screams, if he's got another account he may have ordered them from. No, of course not. How could I be so stupid? Then I asked if he was sure he ordered them from us. Oh, wait, no. He may have ordered them directly from a furniture store, and then he may have called their customer service reps, who may have told him, twice, that he could take the lamps to the shipping company's store a block down. The look on his face when he asked for directions to that store was the best thing I've seen all week. And my coworker now won't stop saying, "I live by authority." Frankly, That barely cracks the top 100 most insane customer moments. Something about online shopping turns people from normal sane members of society into madmen. Just today, we also had a customer trying to break into our back of house, and a customer turn a locket with some of his dead grandmother's ashes still in it. Never a dull moment. A customer can get so frustrated by the service or the product that they've bought that I think they overlook who it is exactly they're supposed to be angry at. In this case, his anger was completely misdirected at the wrong people. But isn't that just the everyday situation for an employee working in retail? People can be so blinded by wanting justice that they go after the wrong people. Now, you might be frustrated because your lamps are broken, but if you've caused harm and harassed some poor employee simply because you weren't careful enough to realize how you were supposed to return the items, well, now you're the jerk. This story was called "Can't You Just Buy It For Me?" The characters: me, assistant manager, SW, senile woman, as there's really no other explanation. Relevant to the story, we are unable to take orders over the phone. Credit cards must be physically swiped or inserted at the register, and we have absolutely no way around this. The setting: a shoe store. A few days ago, I had just clocked in for my closing shift. The phone rings. "Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Shoe Store. How may I help you?"
Oh, hi. I was in your store earlier today looking at a pair of shoes, and I'm just kicking myself for not buying them. I'd like for you to ship them to me.
Unfortunately, we're unable to take orders over the phone, but I'd be glad to put them on hold for you.
But I live all the way in same state in which my store is located, and I can't make the trip all the way out there again.
I'm sorry about that, but I have no way of taking payment over the phone.
Can I order them online?
Possibly. Which shoe were you looking at?
I don't know.
A little back and forth ensues, with her attempting to explain what the shoe looked like and where it was located in the store. I'm somehow able to find it. It's a single pair of sandals from last year that are on super mega clearance because, well, they're old. Unfortunately, you won't find these on our website. They're from last year.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
Go back in time and buy them when you were here? I'm not sure, ma'am.
Oh, you can ship them to me, and when I get them, I'll mail you a check.
Sorry, ma'am, I can't send out merchandise that has not been paid for. Senile woman gets increasingly frustrated.
Is there anyone else that I can talk to? A manager?
Me trying to suppress laughter as my manager is staring at me, shaking his head at hearing my side of the conversation. No, I'm the only manager here right now.
Well then, you can buy it for me and I'll mail you a check.
Excuse me?
They're not even $20. You pay for it and I'll send you a personal check. I'm good for it.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, is there anyone else there who would?
No, ma'am. No one here is going to buy your shoes for you. Staring from my manager intensifies. We both exchange the "I can't wait to talk about this one" look.
Well, I mean, this is ridiculous. All I want is those shoes and no one will help me. So there's nothing you can do?
No, ma'am. I'm afraid there isn't.
Well then, thanks a lot. Click.
I burst out laughing and regale my manager with the full conversation. A nearby customer overhears and also starts laughing. I spend most of my remaining shift hiding in the back room. I feel like I earned it. It was nice of our hero to give the woman the benefit of the doubt of merely being senile, which may be true, but we've heard too many Tales from Retail stories to know that what's more than likely is that she just felt entitled to have someone send her the shoes. She even thought she wouldn't have to pay for them, or at least not straight away. Even if this woman was sincere and just wanted somebody to send them to her because she couldn't get there herself, there was no way really for the hero of the story to be able to tell. Perhaps this person was a scammer and trying to get free shoes sent to their house. What's most likely is that this person was just too unwilling to go back to the store. They're obviously capable to get there as they were there earlier that day. They just didn't want to go all the way back, and they thought they could call up online and order over the phone. And once they realized they couldn't, they just kept pushing to see if they could get their way. Perhaps they were senile, but more than likely, they just couldn't be bothered going back to the store. If you'd like your story to be narrated by me, don't forget to visit the subreddit r/VoiceyHere, link below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.